for joining us today. My name is Timothy Dann-Barrick, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at Storetasker. I'm normally based in Montreal, Canada, but today I'm coming to you from Mexico City. Storetasker is the fastest, easiest way to get in touch with a vetted Shopify expert to help fix your store. And today I'm joined by James Corr. James is the growth consultant at OnlyGrowth. He and his team at OnlyGrowth help e-commerce brand owners grow their brand by advising them how to increase conversions and implement proven growth strategies on Shopify Plus. James, I'm so excited that you're here. Please tell us more about you.
Yeah, well, first, I'm a little jealous of your travels. Yeah, so I help Shopify Plus merchants, like you said, improve conversions. So we kind of try to tie in the marketing and development together. That's kind of the way to look at it. So I think today we're going to talk about the email marketing side of things.
Okay. It looks like there's an echo. I'm going to go ahead and pull down my volume a little bit. Awesome. So tell us kind of exactly what you're going to do. I know that you're going to help us implement Klaviyo. I actually say this wrong. I know it's Klaviyo, but I always say it Klaviyo. Klaviyo and Shopify to send more abandoned cart emails than would normally be sent.
Yeah, so typically your cart abandonment email, I'll just go into Klaviyo. You can see my screen there, okay?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So inside, as you can see, we have a lot of different cart abandonment flows to try to segment the user a little better. But you can see that the rule for the typical cart abandonment, it's really a checkout started. That's the event that triggers the email. So that means the person had to add something to the cart, go to the checkout, put their email in there, and then at that point, it gets recorded into Klaviyo, and now you can send that email to them. However, you probably have a percentage of your customers that are repeat. So from my experience, probably looking at 20 to 30% of customers are repeat customers. Yeah. And so therefore those customers, you already know who they are. You already have their email address. So the next time they come to your site, all they have to do is add to cart. They don't actually need to get all the way to the checkout started event. You can capture it, you know who they are, and then you can trigger an email even before that typical checkout started event. So that's really what we're looking at today, of how can we email those people sooner, those people that just add to cart, that they're repeat customers, they add something to the cart, but they don't make it all the way to the checkout page. Because there's a lot of people that actually do that, or in that gap of they add something to the cart, they don't get all the way to the checkout to type in their email address.
That's awesome. That's super, super powerful. Yeah, anytime you can be sending more emails to your customers, as long as you're not bothering them, it's great. So I have next, why would you want to do this? I mean, it seems really obvious. You want to get your emails out to more people. Yeah, and you've had some pretty good success with this, right?
Yeah, for sure. These customers, since they are repeat customers, and you already have their email, or maybe they haven't actually maybe they haven't actually made a purchase, but their email is in the system. So whether that means they've subscribed, maybe they used a pop-up exit modal like Privy, or they just checked out on the billing side, but never actually finished the purchase. All those ways they capture the email address. So those ones would be the repeat customers like we're talking about. Yeah, so those people tend to really want to get your email. So you're going to get a really high open rate. I think, I forget the number off the top of my head. I think it was over 60% open rate on this type of email. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could get 60% open rate on all my emails. Cool. So you said you were going to walk us through the whole process, right?
Yep.
Go. Show us.
Yeah. So when you go into Klaviyo, typically you need a way to capture this event. So by default, you'll have the checkout started event. And so you need a way to get that add to cart event in Klaviyo. So you can build segments off it. You can push custom audiences to Facebook. You can do a whole bunch of things. So right now, that's what we're going to talk about. And you can get into, if I'm just in the back end of a Shopify merchant. Mm-hmm. So the way I like to set it up was with a snippet. So I'll just go into the snippets folder. Okay. Open up the Klaviyo link. I'm assuming you're already at this point, and where you'll have this script here that's just tracking all the pages and whatnot. So now what we want to do is we want to add the code on a product page to capture the add to cart event. So you may already have this one here that's for view to product, and it's capturing the item here. So all that details, that's pretty straightforward because that's going to be copied right from the Klaviyo site. Okay, but this is the one that we need right here. So I have it implemented just on a product page. I don't want the script running on all the pages. We don't have any quick buy or anything on this particular client. If you did, and someone can check out from the collection page, then you're going to have to modify this slightly. But yeah, if you're on a product template, this is the piece of code here, and we'll share the link so then everyone knows where to get this after. Yeah. But essentially what you're doing is you're just tracking, this is the ID that's for the add to cart. So it's going to be probably like this or very similar to this. And you got the add to event listener. So it's looking anytime someone clicks this button that has this ID, the add to cart, you're going to push this into Klaviyo. So I'm calling this event add to cart. If I wanted to, I can remove the spaces, and that's going to be the name of the event that I'm passing into Klaviyo. Okay. I just keep it like that, add to cart. And then I'm going to pass in the item details. So all of this item details of like what's the name of the product, what's the categories, all of that information, you send that as well. What this is it'll allow you to then say, okay, anybody that's added to cart, but maybe it was an item over $0 because sometimes you sell a freebie. So you probably don't want to email them and say, hey, come and get 15% off. It just wouldn't make sense. So right. You can do stuff like that, or you can be a little clever with, if it's on a category, you can show related items that are in that category. So that's kind of the nice part of passing in that information. And so once you got that in there, this code, and just to show you, you can add it for other purposes. So like I've extended it for this merchant for blog posts. Okay. So I wanted to say, I want to capture the event anytime someone views a blog article. This way I can, whether that's pushing creating an email list of people that viewed blog, so I can email them in a different way. I also do the same thing. I create the object for the article. Right, I'm just passing title right now, but I can pass a bunch of other things in there as well. So that goes into Klaviyo, and that's only going to be triggered on the article page. So back to the add to cart, what we're doing right here. Then we go into Klaviyo, okay, and we'll see this one, add to cart, okay. So if I jump in here, okay, and so this is a pretty small merchant that we have going on, but you can still see the open rate and click rate is still pretty high on this one as well. Yeah. So you can see like the subject line is items going fast. There you go. And then the trigger is by add to cart. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure the people that added to cart, they didn't get all the way to that checkout started event, because they're going to get your other flow that you already have set up. Right. So this is where you'll have the flow filter, and we have that set to be people that checked out 0 times since starting this flow. Because everybody that's added to cart, they're going to be in this flow. So you want to exclude those people now if they made it all the way to the checkout started. Right. We don't want people in this flow time and time again, because people are going to come to the site and add to cart several times probably before they make the purchase in this for this merchant. So we have it so if they've been in the flow, we exclude them, so they won't be in it again for the next 30 days. Oh, no. And then we make it so they've placed the order 0 times as well. Okay. So when you're going to go do this, what we'll do here, I'll just show you. This flow. You can say takes an action. So this is the new view for Klaviyo. And so here's your events. So typically you'll just have like the subscribe to list and order to product, active on site. So these are the ones now we want to send the other one of add to cart. Okay, so that's from your site, add to cart event. And that's kind of where you'll start to trigger that email. And you can see in here, I have the view blog article as well. So that's how they'll get added in here. So the minute you add that code into the back end of the Shopify store, it may take like an hour or so before it starts showing up as an actual event within Klaviyo itself. But yeah, you just go trigger the event yourself by putting your email in there, going to the store, adding to cart, and you'll see yourself get added into the flow. You can also just do that with a segment as well. You can create a segment with that event, and then you'll see yourself get added into that particular segment. And then the last part really is to making sure that that the people that went into the add to cart before the checkout itself, those people are now not going to also get this abandoned cart at a later point in time. And so that's kind of where you have if they've placed an order 0 times since starting the flow right here, only includes someone if placed order 0 times since starting this flow. And so then if they get that add to cart, then they make the purchase, they won't see this the abandoned cart, which is actually the checkout started event. So that's pretty much it's pretty straightforward. They have the code pretty much on their blog post, Klaviyo does. So you can snap that from there and then paste it into your Shopify store.
Nice. Can you just talk a little bit more about the blog article that you were doing for this client? You said like you can capture the email based on who has read the blog?
No, so this is just, we want to create a segment of people that have viewed the blog article. So they're just starting to push content out on their blog frequently now. And so what they want to do is they want to really make sure people that notice that they can come back to the site to read the articles, and not necessarily before it's always like buy. That was all their emails. So now they want to mix it up and say, hey, we can provide some value to you and come and read our articles. We can help you with your problem.
Nice.
And so what they want to do is the people that's already viewed the blog article, then that means they already know about the blog and how to get there and everything. And the other people, we want to email them more frequently about the blog. So they'll receive 1 to 2 emails a week about the blog. Whereas people that's already viewed the blog, they're just going to get it once every other week.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So you kind of you want to try to tailor the emails, to the certain people.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes these events, like the add to cart event, for example, the minute you add that in, you're going to be like, oh man, I wish I already had that, because now I have all these customers or subscribers in Klaviyo, and I don't know which ones have added to cart or which ones have viewed the blog, because it's only going to start tracking it from the day that you add this script in here.
Yeah.
So my advice is to add the script, because it's not really costing you anything to collect the information.
Yeah.
And if you ever want it at a future point in time, you already have it, versus you get in that situation as, oh, I want to do this, and now you don't have anybody in that particular segment that have done that event yet.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we've got a few questions from the audience.
Yeah, sure.
So Beth asks, this only applies for repeat customers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Repeat customers, or like even the people that have maybe added they've joined the blog, they've given you the email address.
Okay.
So as long as they're created as a profile in Klaviyo, then at that point you have them, and they're being tracked. The email's being tracked. So if they click add to cart, that event will be passed into Klaviyo. Essentially, they need a profile for that event to be mapped to.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they're in Klaviyo, that event will get mapped to them.
Okay, makes sense. Then Jamar says that he's currently setting up cart abandonment emails. What frequency are you sending out emails? Do you have any strategy about that?
Yeah, so it does depend on the type of product that you have. So I'll typically go with like 1 to 4 hours for the first email, and then 24 to 48 hours for the second email. My thought is on the first one, if maybe they just got sidetracked, you can bring them right back, as well as it's a couple hours at a different time, right? So maybe they're at work and they were just leaving the office and now they're home, so that a couple hours makes a difference on their working environment or where they are. The 24 to 48 hours is maybe the issue is it wasn't anything with price of why they abandoned the cart. It was more along the lines of they just had a question. And so that was a really convenient time for them. It just, they had to ask a question. So in your cart abandonment emails, you want to say, hey, if there's anything I can help you with, here we are. We're available by phone, email, Facebook, chat, what have you. So you want to hit them right on that 24 or 40, the exact same hour of the day, just because that might be a convenient time. So that's my thoughts on that. But if you're doing like a flash sale or you have a really large sale, what I'll do is I will go in and I will drop those times to be like 1 hour and then 8 hours, something like that.
Oh, nice. Now, does that include a coupon code as well in those emails or no?
So I like to do tiered discounting. And so the first email, I don't send a discount. And then what I'll do is I will send a discount on the next email, because the first one is I want to address the needs of those people that just have questions. It wasn't about the price of the product at all. So I don't want to be giving away a discount to people that would have normally paid full price.
Yeah. And
then after that little bit of time, then I offer maybe a 10% off discount. And you're going to be able to capture those people that were just fishing for a discount anyways. And then I'll send a third email. Depends on the brand, but typically I'll send a third email, which is, hey, here's their 15% off. But then I keep track. As you've seen, there was a lot of different flows that I had set up here for abandoned cart. So first-time purchasers or repeat purchasers. And the reason for that is because those people that made it all the way to the third email and got the 15% off and they use that 15% off, I don't want them to use that 15% off again. So those people go in a separate abandoned cart. And it's just so I'll say, hey, if you need any help, I'm here to help you. And then the second email, again, here's 10% off. And then the third email is just like, hey, I'm just reminding you, you have a limited time to use that 10% off. So I'm not going to give them that 15% off. Otherwise, they're just going to get used to that. And they're always going to keep coming back and shopping at 15% off.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And then Edgar asks, I didn't understand how you capture the email. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit with Beth's question. So it's anytime someone enters their email, even if they don't make a purchase, or anytime they sign up with like Privy or whatever pop-up. Are there any other instances?
Yeah, like there's a lot of ways that you can segment people out. So it's like, for example, if they had a subscription, you can capture that event. There's a lot of different events that you can capture. It's just you want to be thinking about how you can get their email. So maybe if they go in store and make a purchase, if you have in store, you can capture that through the Shopify POS or whatever system, and that can be pushed into Klaviyo, so you get it that way. If they call in, and that you get their email that way, if you happen to do that. There's a lot of ways that you can get the email, probably more than you think of. Even if it's just they come to your site through a live chat and have a question, they type in the email because it's 4 a.m. and nobody's available, so they type in their email to get a response later. Now you have their email, that can be in a Klaviyo. So you're going to get even more than those people that have just purchased.
Nice. And then I think we're done with the normal questions, but what I do have, someone emailed in a question, and that was,
Awesome.
is this possible with any other email provider? And I'm not sure if you would know that, but like they asked about MailChimp. What other place do you know any other providers?
So I mostly work with Klaviyo,
Okay.
but I am aware of a lot of other email service providers, and it really just depends on if they allow for this functionality. And it's really just knowing about the different functionalities that you can do, or a lot of people probably didn't even realize that the add to cart or the checkout started is slightly different. So now you can just email MailChimp or your email service provider and say, hey, are you capturing it at the checkout started event, like on the checkout page, or are you actually capturing the add to cart? If you're not capturing the add to cart, how, like, do you have code I got to add to the site? Is it possible to add that? Because sometimes like MailChimp has really tight integration with Shopify, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have that event, but it would have to be something you have to ask them.
Okay, great. So I think that's all for today. So if you have additional questions for me, you can always just email me at hello@storetasker.com. And I will pass those emails on to James so that any of those questions can be answered. I also just wanted to point out that you can go ahead and go over to Facebook and find Storetasker and OnlyGrowth and like those pages. That would be awesome. We also have Shopify Entrepreneurs, which is a group that our founder, John Kennedy, started. It's a great group. Right now we're at over 71,000 members. And as far as I know, that's the largest group out there on Facebook for Shopify merchants. If you liked this, feel free to go ahead and follow this account, because that way you'll know when we do future stuff like this. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments. We'll get back to you. And that's all. I'm going to go ahead and put some links on this side. So actually my links are too long. So I'll put those in the next few minutes so you guys can take a look. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it. I think we can definitely, there's a lot more little tricks within Klaviyo or other email service providers, which we can definitely chat about in another webinar.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Like, I was super excited about this, and I'm still excited about it. I'm really happy with how it went, and I really hope that we can do this again soon.
Awesome.
All right. Have a great day.
Yep. You too.